Find Chris Sims, Pro Football Talk live co-host on Peacock, former NFL quarterback and Football Night in America. All right, what came out yesterday after Aaron Rodgers' press conference where you were with Paul Allen of KFAN saying the same thing, that Aaron Rodgers was told that he was going to be traded in the offseason?
I had always heard, really going back to like when this all became news, that from other teams in the NFL, that there was the sense out there that Rodgers and his camp were told they could start to dabble in the conversations of trading, and that they told him that, that they might appease him that way. So, that's where I got that. I don't know. I guess it's more news that it just came out here yesterday or whatever else, but it's something I know Florio had heard behind the scenes. And then as we had this time off, and usually in this time off, I try to catch up with coaches and people I know around football. Of course, the Aaron Rodgers conversation came up with a lot of different people. Like, man, do you believe this? Can you believe how the Packers handled this? All those type of things. And I think that's the one thing that's not out there kind of in the public, is everything I've been led to believe from people around the NFL is he was kind of led to believe he could find a trade partner this offseason. Now, why didn't he say it yesterday? I don't know. I thought he would say it yesterday, but knowing Aaron Rodgers too, Dan, I would sit there and go, he is the kind of guy that doesn't want to make it look like he wanted out of there, and he wanted to leave Green Bay and look like that to the fan base too. So again, I know this from pretty good sources that this was a real thing.
And I wonder if you gave the Packers a mulligan right now. You can trade him in the offseason. You can change all of this. Would they still have signed up for this, knowing they were going to get him at least 1 year? Or they could have traded him prior to the draft, had more people interested, got a whole lot more for Aaron Rodgers.
Right. I think they probably could have maximized more, to your point. But I think the other big factor in this, and this is where another thing I was told behind the scenes from another NFL, person I trust and I'm friends with here, and the fact that, the Jordan Love aspect came into play with that conversation as well, Dan. They know he's not ready. Like we talked about back in the spring. The fact that he never dressed for a game last year, I mean, you might as well get a megahorn and yell it out like, man, he's not ready. He's raw. He needs work. So I think that ultimately, too, led to this, wait, let's think about this again. Are we going to throw Jordan Love out there and then make it really look like a disaster if he didn't play well? And, whoa, we got rid of Rodgers, and here he is, messing up our Super Bowl NFC championship type of football team. I would have to think that was a big part of their thinking as well.
Could you get a first-round pick for Jordan Love right now?
No, I don't. No way. Not right now. Okay. The fact that he hasn't played, I think the league was very iffy about him to begin with. There was some teams that I think loved his high-end talent. I know that during that process, and I kind of jumped on him a little early too, because I kind of fell in love with his highlight tape and some of the positive things he could do. But as I dug deeper, there were issues. And I had too many conversations with too many different teams who were like, man, I see some of that arm talent and those type of things, but he is raw, not the best decision maker. There was a lot of work to be done. I don't think many teams really viewed him as a first round pick, other than maybe 2 or 3 that I know of in the NFL.
I still go back to the Rams situation, and I can't nail it down and say that it's a report, but I mean that was right there for him before they went and got Stafford. If you would have said to Sean McVay, we can get Rodgers, or you can get Sean McVay, or you can get Matthew Stafford.
Whoa, well, you're going to take Rodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to take Rodgers. But I'll give you a little caveat, that you might not get him as long as Stafford. That's the other thing we got to remember, too. It seems like Stafford's been playing since 1974, but he's only 32 years old. That's what's amazing about him. He's got a long way in front of him. But, yes, I think they do take Rodgers. If that's yes, you can have either one. I would think McVay does it. But I think it goes back to the conversation we just had a little bit, Dan. I don't think Green Bay was really ready at that time to get into trade talks and really go all in on it and do those type of things. So McVay had to do what was best, like available right now, a sure thing, and that was Stafford. Of course, he had the relationship with Brad Holmes up there, who had just left the Rams to become the new GM of the Detroit Lions.
And he wanted to get rid of Jared Goff as well in the process.
Exactly, that was a big thing, no doubt, Dan. You can't forget that.
Are you all in on the Rams? I don't know if I've got you on record.
I don't know. I mean, I'm all in on the Rams. I mean, yeah.
No, you're not all in on the Rams. You paused.
I haven't figured out who I'm going to pick to win divisions and do all of that. Yes. Listen, I love the Rams football team. Of course, I think that offense is going to be better with Matthew Stafford and all the things that he can do, let alone now McVay can expand what he wants to call because of the things Stafford can do. I am in it. But here's my one issue why I'm hesitant. They're an all-star team. It's 22 players. There's not a lot of depth on their team. So I always worry about that with the Rams. They've dodged that bullet the last few years, but they're a little like the Falcons, except they've dodged that bullet where you go, man, the starting 22 is good, but if they lose 3 or 4 players, they're screwed and they won't be the same football team. And that's what I do worry about them. And especially, I mean, as you know, the NFC West, I mean, come on. It's sick how good that division is right now.
Should quarterbacks have a say?
Yeah, to a degree. Not that they call the shots, but I think when you're Rodgers, Brady, okay, I'll even throw Mahomes in that category now, but you know what I'm talking about. Peyton Manning, a few years into his career. Not that you have to listen and go, oh, that's what you want to do, but you have a conversation with them. I mean, geez, Dan, I went to one freaking playoff game in the next offseason when Gruden wanted to do things. He would at least talk to me about it a little bit. He wasn't going to listen to me, but he was going to hear my reasoning.
That's when his coaching career started to go down, though. I
way
think.
Downhill right there. You listen to a dumb blonde from Jersey, you got issues. But no, I think that's the point Rodgers is trying to make a little bit. This is where I go crazy about the Rodgers stuff. All these comments on social media and everything that he's a diva and a diva and a diva. And I understand it. I understand he's not perfect and he's not the easiest guy in the world. But damn, I look at him as the opposite of a diva. I mean, they've never done anything. Drafting, free agency to help him. He signs team-friendly deals, 6-year contracts. It's the opposite of a diva.
Well, they do a good job in drafting talent here, Chris. You can't say Jordy Nelson or Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, the offensive line, Rashawn Gary is they've drafted well.
Rashawn Gary, what, Dan? He doesn't play. He's behind Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith. That's where I don't.
Those are good players.
I know they are. And you're right. I'm not trying to yell at you.
Okay.
I'm just going, there needs to be more to it than that. They do. They have a great formula. That's great. I understand that. But at the same time, as I think I've said to you before, I think Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. I think Brett Favre is one of the top 5 or 6 I've ever seen. They've won 2 Super Bowls with the two of the 5 best quarterbacks in the history of the sport. To me, hey, the formula is great, but every now and then you got to go, wait, let me look at the context of this situation, the reality of the situation, and make a move or change. I mean, again, I'm not trying to hate on anybody here, but Brady had a coach that got Darrelle Revis and did all the draft picks you talked about, and then also got Randy Moss and made other trades and everything else in the world to help that football team. And we really can't say that's ever been done in Green Bay with Rodgers or anything like that.
Yeah, but they're smart enough to draft Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, okay. He fell into their lap at 25 that year.
Okay.
All right. I mean, yes, that's great. I'm not saying they're idiots up there. I'm just saying it's worth questioning the fact that they've won 2 Super Bowls with 2 of the 5 greatest quarterbacks ever. And yes, I think when you look at what the Chiefs did this offseason, they have Patrick Mahomes and they got one of the best right tackles in football, the best guard in football. They traded for a corner who's a first-round pick who's been dealing with injuries and Mike Hughes. Green Bay doesn't do that stuff. We send out planes in the air with they signed a free agent, one of them. Yeah. Holy cow. And that's where I'm
critical of the Packers that if I can use Aaron Rodgers to lure free agents, why wouldn't I do that? I don't want
exactly.
I don't want him in my war room when we're drafting, but I do.
Right.
I want him to reach out to an offensive lineman or a wide receiver, even a defensive player.
I agreed, and I think that's, again, I know of at least two instances. One, a big time receiver who was in Rodgers' ear because this receiver used to tell me he wanted to go there. That happened here in the last few years. The team didn't want to hear it from Rodgers. Yeah, they don't. I think there's a lot of teams, and I think that's where Rodgers
You
gets
can
frustrated.
give us the name now.
I can't. The guy's still playing and he's still good, and I don't want to cause any issues here and him beat me up or something. But
okay.
That's where, I think he's frustrated because I think he does have people reach out to him to go, man, I'd like to come up there and do something with you and play up in Green Bay. And Green Bay always just goes, well, we only draft guys and they stick to their formula. And I get it, but I don't get it.
DeAndre Hopkins?
I'm not telling you.
Okay. Right.
You don't know my poker face either, so you won't know if I'm lying or not.
Pro Football Talk Live co-host Chris Sims joining us. The camp that is most interesting right now, aside from Green Bay, is?
Ooh, wow, good question. All right, well, first off, I'm pissed at the Jets. Like, what the hell are you doing? That's why I'm just interested because of the stupidity of the Jets right now. That's where I'd like to go with that. Here we are. We drafted all this young talent. We got a superstar quarterback. All they could do was rave about him to anybody who would listen all spring. Now he's lasers everywhere. This guy's awesome. And now they're going to screw up all the development because of money that means nothing. And I can't blame Joe Douglas or Robert Saleh. It's got to be an ownership thing.
But isn't this slotted, Chris? Like, don't they know what they have to pay him? Like, what is the holdup here?
The holdup is obviously the Jets are trying to do something ownership to me. This is not like Joe Douglas because it's not a salary cap issue or anything like that. It has to do something, I think, with, one of the higher ups above them going, wait, we don't want to write that check right now or give all that cash. I don't know if there's cash flow problems with the Jets or what it is, but you're right. The last few years, the first and second picks, it's slotted. You know what you get. They all get their money in the first 2 or 3 months, and that's it. But, of course, the Jets are doing Jets things. That's interesting. But, Dan, the other one, the 49ers. I mean, how could I not? 49ers are a Super Bowl team.
Well, you finally got, they signed their, they signed Trey. So
right.
Is he going to eventually start this year?
I would think that there's got to be at least a package of plays for him.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to say he's going to start. I got to see him play in the preseason and see, if he's become more of a polished passer, if he can, handle the NFL game and all that there is that comes with that. So, I don't know, but it's intriguing either way because they're a super talented football team with a quarterback that was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago and a guy that they traded away 3 first-round picks to get now, and they're having a quarterback battle. So I think that's probably the story of training camp.
If Garoppolo had won that Super Bowl, would they have drafted a quarterback?
Probably not. I think it buys them at least another year, maybe 2 at least. Like
he's 2 first downs away from beating Mahomes.
2 first downs away from Mahomes, but a full second half of bad decisions, bad throws, plays that were there to be had when they had to kick a field goal. There should have been a wide open completion on 3rd down to George Kittle over the middle, and that drive should have continued. I think it's that type of stuff that has continually frustrated the 49ers and things like that. But I'm with you. I think if they win that game, you of course, you buy yourself 2, maybe 3 years if you're a Super Bowl champ.
I feel like we were yelling at each other today.
I know. I'm yelling, I think, anyways, because I have ear pods in and I'm usually at my studio with the mic and all that. So I'm sorry. I don't mean to yell at you. My fault.
You look like you're on a spaceship with Jeff Bezos or something, whatever that is that Earth behind you?
That's Sunday Night Football Earth. You've seen that set back there. Remember when you used to be Bobby Big Time and host Football Night in America?
Bobby Big Time. That in fact, that's what my nickname was in the building. Bobby Big Time.
I know.
Hey,
you're kind of a big deal.
Here comes Bobby Big Time. I think I left some weed in my locker there, so feel free if you want that.
Oh, I already smoked it. Don't worry. I found it. I got a nose for those type of things. Don't you worry.
Hey, and your Longhorns. Yeah,
Yeah,
Can't beat them, join
I'm
them.
happy. Right. I'm happy. I mean, come on. Has there been like I'm disappointed with the Texas program. I think it's one of the most disappointing programs in college football the last 10 years. Get out of the Big 12. It's a flag football conference. Yeah, let's see if we can go, play with the big boys in the SEC because that's where it's at for sure. I hope they make the move. I really do.
How did Texas close you?
How did Texas close me? Well, I mean, listen, Mac Brown, I don't know how much you've met him, right?
I love Mac Brown.
Right. Mac's amazing. I mean, he's amazing. I used to say he could sell a Pinto to Donald Trump. Like, he could do that. Like, he is the smoothest talker ever. But either way, the school was amazing. I love the rise of the program, right? Ricky Williams won the Heisman right before the year I went there. I was like, man, this will be cool to be a part of the uprising of Texas football again.
But the car, was it automatic or stick that you got?
They don't give cars to rich kids who grew up as sons of quarterbacks. They don't do that. Right?
They loan them. They loan them. They don't give them, Chris.
They don't. I didn't get anything down there other than, as I've discussed with you before,
What would Tennessee have given you?
Nothing. I'm too high profile to get anything. So I know one day I'll write a book and tell you some of the stories and everything that like went on during the other things I witnessed with other people, with other players,
of course,
on certain visits.
Can you give me one with no names?
Gosh, I just was on a visit once with big time defensive tackle, right? Big time defensive tackle. And this school is rolling out the red carpet. And man, anything he looked at, he wanted. I want that. I want this. I want that. I want that. I want this. I want that. And of course, someone whispered in his ear, don't worry, we'll get it to you here sometime in the near future. So that's one that my Aunt Wendy and my mom still get a kick out of.
But
I know. I'm sorry. I can't tell you. I'm sorry. I don't want to get the school in trouble, the player in trouble. I'm sorry.
All right.
The player probably wouldn't care. He really wouldn't, but I don't want to get the school in trouble. That's where I'd feel guilty.
I think we have it.
Well, we have the list of the schools you officially visited, but we will not give them out.
Oh, yeah. It's all right. I visited a lot of schools unofficially, too, so you wouldn't be able to pin it down to that. Sorry.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
No. Do you want to tell me
that? Your dad has frequent flyer miles and money. You can visit other schools. It's easier.
Do you want to tell me the wide receiver now instead?
Nope. Okay. Man, yeah, I know. You're trying to really get me today. Get me in big trouble. No, I can't tell you.
Adam Thielen.
Nope. Sorry.
Jarvis Landry.
Bigger than Adam Thielen and everything like that. That's what I'll say to you on that point.
Okay. Good to talk to you, Chris, as always.
You're the man. I'll talk to you
Larry Fitzgerald.
See ya. Goodbye.
All right. That's Chris. Pro Football Talk.